Shakira J from West Philadelphia, that is, and you're listening to Capital Pink, one of the few podcasts that can teach you how to think and not what to think. Capital Pink is proudly sponsored by our very own CFACT, and we are here for those who want to see the fact. I got an opportunity to interview Joy Newbaugh from Queens, New York. That's right, she's from Queens, New York, close to Philly where Shakira J is from, but you know, we ain't gonna speak on it just yet. But Joy, she is an activist and a commentator. And today, we are talking about the vax. My gosh, they gonna cancel me now, y'all. They gonna cancel me. But whatever, we gonna keep pushing. Joy had an incredible story to share. Joy lost her job after refusing to get the vax. Now, whatever you think about the vax, her story represents an important conversation for our society. Should people be able to be fired because they refuse to get the vaccine? Or is that a violation of their constitutional rights? Let's listen to her story and make up your mind for yourself.
I was a paraprofessional, and with my license under the state, I was considered a teaching assistant. So I basically taught. Sure. And I assisted the teacher that I was with, and I did it for 8 years. And once 2020, then 2021 rolled around, I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice of what was best for me and my body. And when I made that choice, I lost my career. I lost my passion. So those 8 years, even though I know they happened, they disappeared based on the city. And so I was terminated. And because of that termination, I had to really strap my boots up and say, you know, never again will this happen to anyone. Never again will I allow anyone to be reprimanded for a choice of what's best for them. You know, and we talk about it a lot. And I know there's activists that are out there that say, you know, my body, my choice, my body, my choice. Well, here we are. It was my body, my choice, but just not when you want to force something. So all those things transpired. And, you know, for me, I realized because of the voice that I have and because I know how to speak, I need to go out and speak for those who can't speak and support those who want their message heard or their story heard or the things that happen to them, their harm. And so I got involved with rallying and protesting back in 2021. We did restaurant style sit-ins, civil disobedience, and a lot of us got arrested for going to dine out like free men and women. But because we did not partake in the experimentation, we were deemed basically subhuman. We could not enjoy the, you know, lifestyle that we once had prior to 2020. Sure. So I was arrested twice. I was arrested in a museum for wanting to go and just go to a museum because I did not partake in an experimentation. So, and I was charged with criminal trespassing, but it got dismissed. And then I got arrested again at Junior's Cheesecake. Right. So, you know, there were things that were happening to people and, you know, we were getting support that, you know, I'm glad you're bringing this awareness. And then we were getting ridiculed. Well, why don't you just leave New York? Oh, well, that's good for you. Oh, just get the thing, you know, just do it and your life will be better. You're making it hard for everyone else. That made me keep fighting. Yeah. That made me push forward because it's obvious I'm doing something right. And God wouldn't allow me to keep doing what I'm doing if it wasn't right. Yes. And he's provided and he's been by my side and he's helped me to survive through all of this because this definitely is a traumatic ordeal that I'm learning to survive through and heal from. So since then, 2022 was a huge year. And I've traveled different places to share the same message, you know, everyone that I work with and that I've rallied with and protested with, we all go out, we all have captivating stories that people wouldn't know unless they sat down and talked to us. People would think that, you know, oh, everything, you look like you're fine. But we really had some things happen to us. So I ended up getting involved with New York Du Jour. New York Du Jour Assembly is basically an entity, an assembly that wants to bring back the original form of government. Sure. With America, it was a constitutional republic. It was a republic for the people, by the people. If any one person was harmed, whatever was being done by government had to stop. But now we're a democracy. America's a democracy, which is majority rule, which means if 49% are harmed, well, the 51% said it's okay, so you're just going to have to be harmed till the next election or until next time, which is wrong. So we need that republic back. We need to give the power back to the people, that if one person is not feeling right about what's going on, their voice is heard. So New York du jour is doing that. And in New York, we've been holding public servants accountable. AKA our politicians, the ones that think that they are above the law, that they can't be, told what to do by their employers, which is us, the boss. They're above the law. They think they're above the law. And we're bringing the true law back, the true government back. So a little bit about them right now, with Eric Adams being mayor in New York City, a lot of people don't really like them on both sides of the spectrum. We're taking him to court, Supreme Court, for harming every man and woman in New York. Everything that he's done, everything that he's signed into effect from the day he went into office, January 1st, he has harmed every New Yorker, every man and woman. So it's been up to the du jour. It's been up to just men and women saying, no, this has to stop, going in and filing in the courts to have our story heard. Basically our story heard, our harm, everything that was done, no matter how small it was, no matter how big. The world needs to know, the people need to know that they can go and have their voice heard and something done.
Sure. Do you have any hope for, the 2024 presidential election? Do you think whoever is elected in an office, do you think they will try to, push the missions and the narratives that we're discussing right now? Or, do you think it's going to take someone outside of, the presidency or Congress or Senate? Because after all, people forget, right, that we make up the community, right? So we shouldn't be waiting on someone, right, to be elected to implement these changes. Something. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when it comes to 2024, this is actually going to be my first time even thinking about it, because I've been so involved with doing something now. Because waiting allows for these harms to continue to happen. But if 2024 comes around and there is someone that's there, I would want to look forward to them being constitutionally compliant. Like, the Constitution is first. I'm going to uphold your rights no matter what happens. And if I don't, please hold me accountable. That's what I'm looking forward to in a candidate, if there is a candidate, if I choose to vote at that time, because we've noticed, yes, we can vote, but fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Voting has seemed very difficult lately, and we're getting these outcomes that aren't what the people want on both sides. There are, let's say, example, a Democrat might vote Republican this time, but basically their vote didn't count. So now you're deterring a sort of system that you want to see work. But we know there's other deeper things that are happening with that. But 2024, I want constitutionally compliant public servants. I want someone who is going to do the will of the people and uphold their rights.
Here at Capital Pink, we really appreciate when people come on the show and they're vulnerable and they're open and they're honest about their stories. So we appreciate Joy for sharing that. We also discussed the issue of social media and its power for both good and bad. Joy explained that she experienced censorship on social media. Check out her thoughts.
Social media, as good as it's been, has now become a tool for, tyranny, for descending down on us and trying to silence us. So one way maybe that we could, battle that or combat that or push back is either leave in mass numbers and let whatever gains they get, because a lot of this is money. Whatever they gain from it monetarily, let's take that back. So if we leave either mass droves and let these companies fall, or we can continue to push, learn the algorithm and push things out, or create our own. And we have very, very intelligent men and women in this country, in our cities, in our communities, that can create these things, and the community has to back it, but we have to have the backing. So it would have to then be a new lifestyle. It can't, be that, okay, we're going to start this new one and we're still with the old. So we would definitely essentially have to make a choice. But the most we could do is just continue to keep pushing it out and learn their playbook, learn their algorithms, learn to outsmart it, just so we can get the word out. Because to know that there were 20 to 30 restaurant style sit-ins and people getting arrested and not a lot of people knowing about it unless it got mainstream media coverage, that says a lot. And you post on social media and you post in these places, but they don't want you to know that the people are fighting back. They don't want you to know that you can put your foot down and stand up for yourself, because they want to keep that, I guess you would say, slave mentality. They want you to be dependent on the government. They don't want you to become independent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's some ways we could do something about it. And I hope something does happen, because people need to know what's going on, whether it's from you or from me or anyone here. People need to know what's going on.
If you had the opportunity to speak with any legislator or, whoever is up on the Hill, DC, whatever, making these decisions, these important decisions about, what's going to impact our community,
Right.
Who would you speak with, and what policy would you advocate for?
Wow. Okay. So I fangirl over one person, and it's Carrie Lake.
Okay.
I love Carrie Lake. She's listening. I really do, because she has a go-getter attitude. She is not letting anyone walk all over her. And I could see, if I ever got a chance to talk to her, she would understand where I'm coming from with being constitutionally compliant. I really, really do. If I did have an opportunity to influence her, or anyone that I do end up speaking to, or, being involved with, putting in a policy to make it important for the youth to learn about constitutional compliance and your true rights, so that they can make better decisions when they get older. And then if I could throw a little more into it, I would ask to repeal the PrEP Act.
How do we address these issues moving forward? We dominate the media, we make our own media, and we speak out against censorship. Hence why Capital Pink was born. That's all for today, folks. You were tuning in. I appreciate your support. See you next time.